Okay, hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. It's Friday, July 14th. It is the start of the second half in Major League Baseball. Yeah, and we're all very excited, but the headiness is over because now we gotta get serious and find betting value. I did crunch the hell out of the the Friday games. Of course, I closed the season with 3 straight winning days, and I committed to wearing this outfit every single day in the show until I have a losing day. So I'll get to the card in a second. Did have another WNBA winner last night with the under in the Minnesota game, as in the LA game, and so anyone who held that one, congratulations there. And I looked at the WNBA games tonight. I gave a quick glance at them. Nothing jumps out at me. And of course, in the CFL, my pick of the week is Montreal, which goes tonight. I got them at 5.5, now down to 5 or 4.5. All right, let's get to the MLB card. 15 games tonight. What's up to Nicholas Soucy and Guan White? All right, the MLB games tonight. The kind of bad news is that there are a lot of bets that I made very small, kind of a bunch of underdogs tonight that I bet. Definitely, though, there's no play that's jumping out at me as a great bet. I can tell you very quickly the bets that I made on the overnight line. I did take let's see, I did hit Oakland at plus 140, despite the fact that Carrasco is so good on the road, and Cleveland is also a profitable team on the road, and Oakland's been slumping. Plus 140 was just too high, and I did take him. Now that's down to plus 120. I'm not going to be giving him here, and I probably wouldn't bet it at plus 120, but at plus 140, it was just big enough for me to take it. I also hit Toronto at plus 113 for Sanchez against Verlander, and that one has also moved a little bit. It's now down to the like plus 107, plus 108. I also hit the Yankees a little bit. I got plus 121 against Boston. Now, Pineda is very vulnerable. Pomerantz is obviously excellent, although he does have control issues at times, but just felt like a little bit too big of a line. It was just another underdog that I hit. And and I also hit this one. I would be giving if it were still where it is. I did hit San Diego as a home dog of about plus 115 I got. And now it's all the way down to plus 100 is the best line that you can get in the market. So I hit that one for sure. And those were the only. Oh, and I also hit Atlanta. I got plus 107 on that one, and that one has moved. So I got a bunch of underdogs that I liked a little bit, and I got good lines, and now they've all moved a little bit, and now I probably wouldn't like any of. Oh, and I also hit Miami. I also hit Miami at plus 114. So all of those picks I bet, and I bet them small, and they've all moved significantly enough for me to not want to give them in the show today. I hit them all, and I didn't love any of them when I bet them, and they were. I just felt the line was a little bit too high as an underdog, and I did actually parlay all of them, which is nice. I did a round robin. Sometimes I'll do that. That's actually a positive EV but negative EG thing to do. But sometimes I do it recreationally. I'll do like a small. If I have a bunch of small underdogs that I like, I'll do like a little parlay, and like if 3 of them win, you'll round robin parlay, like 3s, 4s, and 5s, and like if 3 of them win, you make a little bit, and if 4 of them win, you actually make a lot. And but that's something that I know is negative EG. I just kind of do it because I enjoy it a little bit.
So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Devin Wade is asking, no low-hanging cake? No. There's nothing that I'm seeing that's a super obvious low-hanging fruit. I mean, you could make some arguments for, obviously Paxton looks great for Seattle, and Shields is looking vulnerable, so you could make an argument for Seattle, but that is a very, very high road favorite line there. And you could make an argument for like the first 5 innings under in Colorado Mets as low-hanging fruit. Gray and DeGrom starting. Gray has been awesome. DeGrom, awesome. His last start before the All-Star break, he gave up 4 home runs. It's a little bit concerning, but not that concerning. So you can make an argument for the first 5 innings under in Colorado Mets, which is still 4. I think that might be a decent bet. I don't know if I'd call it low-hanging fruit, though. Let me see. Yeah. As far as low-hanging fruit, and obviously a lot of people are probably wondering about the Tampa Bay Angels game. That is a total and utter pass for me. I understand that it looks kind of low because of Faria starting and how great he's been and how vulnerable Velasco can be, but at some point, Faria is going to regress. Velasco, as we've seen, can unexpectedly be good. And, of course, the Angels get Trout back tonight. So that changes things tremendously for their lineup. And that game is just a pass for me. Let's see. Ace Farmer says, wait all week for baseball to start back up, and this card blows. Don't even think I'll have a play. Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, baseball's back Friday. I know I'm going to find some plays. And then I looked into it, and I did actually, like I said, I did actually make a lot of bets. They were all very, very small edges, in my opinion. They've now all moved, and none of them, I don't think I would bet any of them at the current lines, and I definitely wouldn't give them as a pick. Let's see. Some disagreement about what to expect from Colorado and the Mets tonight, and that is a very interesting one. Robert Reed says DeGrom will lose this game. Tomarino Tomor says DeGrom's approach at home is much more aggressive and confident. Gray is inconsistent. I think DeGrom will shut them down. As far as the side is concerned, I wouldn't touch it. I would lean towards the first 5 innings under. Mike Heap says Mets Rockies under. I did take a shot with the under when it was 8, but I think that we might also see a second half over here. So if I was going to give a pick here, it would be on the first 5 innings under, which is 4. Let's see. Guan White says he agrees with Tomarino. A lot of people saying, Robert Reed saying, going to wait a day or two for a play, trying to stay in first place in a nice little humble brag there from Robert Reed. He's saying, I'm going to wait a day or two to make a play. I'm trying to stay in first place in the really, Robert Reed, first place in the contest. Congratulations, Robert Reed. Very nicely done. We certainly respect your opinions here in this chat. Robert Reed, of course, is referring to the Bet Points contest at SBR Contest. We always have a monthly MLB contest, and this month, many of our great posters, many of the top 10 in that contest, post regularly in this show, including Tomarino Tomor and Robert Reed, who is in first place currently in the contest. Congratulations, Robert Reed. All right, okay. Austin Geist coming back in to own his low-hanging fruit from yesterday. He said yesterday he gave Cork City at +110 as low-hanging fruit, and they lost.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of people were pretty pissed off about that. It seemed like they were pretty much a lock. I don't follow soccer very much, but I recognize the Cork City.
Yeah,
and a lot of people were not too pleased.
And even if you took them on the pick'em line, where you get a push if they tie,
right?
They lost. They actually lost. So congrats, nice, awesome guys. What we like to see. Hey, listen. Awesome, guys. Thank you for sharing your opinions and thank you for sharing your reasoning. And the most important thing is when someone makes a pick like that, do they come back and own it?
We ridicule them.
No.
Oh, no, that's how we do?
No, that's how we do. We congratulate them for owning it. Awesome, guys. No shame in giving a pick. Lord knows I've given tens of thousands of losing picks in my life. So thank you so much for your pick. Anyway, Austin Geist. All right, so let's get back to to some of the MLB plays today. Yes, the under in the Mets game is tempting, but I definitely like the first half under a lot more than the full game under, and I could even see a second half over in that Mets game as well. And let's see what else has caught my eye. Also, the Atlanta game again. I bet Atlanta small as a home dog, and now that is now down a few cents. I can see an under there. Taijuan Walker is looking very, very vulnerable, and R.A. Dickey, a pretty clear resurgence recently, and I could see an over on that one. I would also maybe think about the Atlanta team total over, which is 4.5. +101, of course, with Freddie Freeman back. Atlanta's lineup gets a nice boost, and if Taijuan Walker comes out and starts walking guys left and right, Atlanta can get over that team total pretty quickly. And I saw someone also mention the Milwaukee game, and that is also a bet that I did take a shot with Milwaukee -1. So they were in the 160s. That line hasn't moved much, and so I took -1 at the relatively small home favorite line. Pivetta is starting for Philly, and Pivetta, it's one of these tricky situations. Pivetta has good stuff. He has control issues, and his secondary pitches aren't there yet. But when he masters his control issues, and if his secondary pitches improve, he might be a very impressive major league starter. We've already seen great starts from him. He's sort of like an Aaron Nola light for Philadelphia, and would not at all be a surprise if Pivetta came in and had 7 shutout innings and 9 strikeouts, that type of start. And then on the other side, Kyle Davies is very vulnerable, but of course there's a huge lineup edge for Milwaukee, and they are a pretty big home favorite. So by all things considered, I did take a shot with Milwaukee -1. That one might lose, and that one I might actually give as a pick in this show. It hasn't moved yet, so I would lean that way, but it is a little bit iffy because of how big of a favorite Milwaukee is, how in general uninspiring Davies is, and how the upside that Pivetta definitely has. And then another bet that I made, which was on the opposite side of Joe Gavazzi, which I covered yesterday. I did take a shot with Baltimore -1, Gossman against Montgomery. Montgomery is a little bit mediocre, although the rest might help him. And Gossman was getting crushed this year, but he closed the first half a little bit better. His strikeouts were up, and I'm thinking that he might be a little bit better than expected going forward and starting with this game. Now, of course, the Cubs, they have the young guys, the talent in the lineup. So if they start really, really picking it up in a major way, that would not be a surprise at all. On the other hand, Trey Mancini's given a nice boost to the Baltimore lineup. So I took a shot with Baltimore as well. And those were the main bets that I made. I took Baltimore -1. I took Milwaukee -1. And then I took, I think, the 5 modest underdogs that I already mentioned. And I also took a small shot with Texas KC under, and I think that the second half under in that game might be a much better bet. It was a 9.5 when I got it. Perez and Hamill, obviously, both iffy, but with the break, the bullpens might be a bit rested, and the second half under in that one, 3.5, is also something that I haven't bet yet, but I'm going to. So that's how the card is looking. Again, a lot of situations and bets, I think, with some small value, although the value's evaporated from when I bet most of them, and nothing really jumping out at me. Some stuff over the weekend that I think is looking a little bit more tempting, and hopefully the series early next week will be better. But if I have a losing day today, then I will break the streak. So, but I can't give no picks. But if I give one pick, then I'm all in on that pick. So I could give like 3 or 4 and hope that I come out, ahead on them.
You can give no picks.
If I were, no, I can't do that. I can't do that.
If you really don't have any.
Yeah, if I really didn't have any picks, I wouldn't give any.
Not just so you don't have to change.
Yeah, exactly. I can't give no picks if I do have a few picks I'm liking, but I just don't want to. So the picks that I probably will give in considering would be Milwaukee -1, the Texas KC second half under. Also thinking about Toronto on the second half might be worth a shot. That's a very interesting game because Sanchez, of course, had blister issues, came back at his first start back. There were reports that he was basically okay and good to go. His first start back, he got absolutely shellacked. And what to expect from him here, not exactly sure. I suspect that he'll have a much better start here. And I did bet Toronto. I got him at +113. Verlander is not terrible, not bad, but definitely far from elite. And of course, Toronto has a pretty big bullpen edge over Detroit, so you could make a good argument for for Toronto on the second half. And the Washington game is also an interesting one. Gonzalez has had a good year. Edelman has had some nice upside, and the Cincinnati Bats have been pretty productive. But overall, I think you have to give the edge here, small edge, to both Washington and to Gonzalez. And so Washington -1 was also a small bet that I made, and that's also a bet that I would consider. And then, of course, the Mets-Colorado first 5 innings under is also a bet that I would consider. Maybe the Colorado Mets second half over is a bet that I would consider. And let's see. And I guess that's basically. Oh, I also did take a small shot with San Francisco, San Diego at over 7.5. Of course, Johnny Cueto has been more and more vulnerable as the year has gone on, and his last start before the All-Star break was particularly bad. So I did take a shot with the over 7.5 in that one, going up against Richard. People might be noticing that I'm not mentioning the Houston game, and that is going to be a pass for me. Barrios is obviously a guy with big upside, and Houston, again, for as awesome as they've been, they were just dead even at home in terms of ROI. They have a great lineup, but once again, they're a big favorite here. Minnesota was great on the road. They have about plus, I think, 30 or 40% ROI on the road, and you're getting Barrios as a big, road underdog, so that game is going to be a pass for me. I don't quite have the balls to bet Minnesota, but I'm definitely not touching Houston here. That is for sure. And let's see what else. And you also could maybe take a shot with the Seattle team total over if you think that Shields might get crushed. You're certainly not out of the realm of possibilities. The load is 5.5 plus 100. All right, so that's what I'm thinking about. I haven't given any official picks as of yet, but I will give some official picks very soon. Let's quickly take a look at the some of the comments here that maybe might be able to to shed some light on some of this. Let's see. Tomarino Tomo says, Nolasco is solid at home, and it's an emotional game with Trout coming back. I'd stay away. Yes. I am Robinson Jepez today. I call Barrios Burritos. No, I called him Barrios. That's how you pronounce it. But yes, it's not even necessarily that that it's an emotional game for the Angels. It's just that you don't exactly know how much of a boost they'll get because their lineup and their overall win-loss record was decent with Trout out. And then Faria's a big question mark. When will he regress? And Nolasco, have we seen, is very uncertain. So yeah, I'm staying off of that one. Hako Schofield says Astros line too high. That's how I'm feeling as well. Mike Heap says Oakland, Cleveland under full game or first 5. That's a tricky one. I actually bet the over on that one small. I know that both Carrasco and Gray can be great. Gray in particular has been improving very recently, so he might be a little bit undervalued right now. And Carrasco in general is excellent on the road, but first game back, I actually bet the over on that one small, over 8. So no, I'm not touching the under on that one. Although I can certainly understand why someone would like the under. And if they bet it, I wouldn't think they were making a stupid bet. And if it turns out winning, I might admit at the end of the game that they were on the right side and I was on the very much the wrong side. Okay, let's see. Let's look for some other comments here. Let's get some nice. Yes, Ernest Tuckman says no low-hanging fruit. Everybody fresh. Okay. DJ1 Mike says Brewers low-hanging fruit in my opinion. Yes, they may be. Brewers may be a low-hanging fruit play in all 3 of their games this weekend, and actually that was a series that I highlighted when I previewed the weekend series with Drew Martin. I highlighted the Tampa Bay series, and the one series that I definitely circled was the Milwaukee series. And today they have Pivetta against Davies. Tomorrow they have 2 strong starters going, and then on Sunday it's Garza against Helitz and 2 mediocre starters. So starting pitching is basically a wash every day, and I think that bodes well for Milwaukee having line value. So yes, you might be right, DJ1 Mike. The Brewers might be low-hanging fruit today, and they might be in general low-hanging fruit every day in this series, and in general take the series. So you know what I'll do? I'll start things off. I will give Milwaukee -1. I bet it, and I'll give it as an official pick. The money line part of that will be -161 at the Chris books, and the run line part of that will be +130 at the Chris books. Very nice. So just a small home favorite line there for Milwaukee -1, and if Pivetta comes in and throws 7 shutout innings and Philly gets the win, congratulations. I'll eat the loss, and it won't be that big of a deal. I'll lose a unit and a little bit more. Milwaukee -1. I will call that one. Yeah, I'll call it a little. Eddie, DJ1 Mike is right. That is low-hanging fruit. That is low-hanging fruit.
We got one.
It's not Bartolo Colon level low-hanging fruit, but it is relatively. It's the lowest hanging fruit of the day, in my opinion, for sure. In terms of like the obviousness of the value and the don't overthink it styleness of the value. DJ1 Mike says Brewers going to beat the fuck out of Philly. I'd lay the -2.5. Premium, LOL. Okay, yeah, you might be right there. I'm on it. I bet it, and I will give that one as an official pick, and I'll label it low-hanging fruit. Thanks, DJ1 Mike, for pushing me, for reminding me of what I already had inside it.
So what was that one?
What
low-hanging fruit is
Milwaukee -1 at about -112 or something like that. Let's see. Tomarino Tomor also agreeing that today is kind of a funky card. I don't have any big bets. Tough day to bet. I do like Straley at home. Yes, I bet that one myself. Tomarino Tomor. McCarthy isn't the same pitcher on the road. Yes, Tomarino, I bet that one, and I got it at +114. I agree. There's not anything that's great today, although there is a bunch of plays, again, that have small value, I think. Let's see. Let's see. Vitalis said SBR gave him a golden ticket. He's coming to Costa Rica for the International Football Betting Conference. Congratulations.
Yeah, I let him know last night.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Right. Okay. Yes. Robert Reed says you can give no picks. Yes, I know I can give no picks. I can give no picks if there's really nothing I'm liking, but I can't give no picks out of cowardice, right? If there's if there's picks that I am kind of liking, but just don't want to.
You can, but we can call
don't want to. Don't want to risk it. No, that is not acceptable. You got to have some balls in these freaking videos if you're going to be a public handicapper. All right. Let's see. Other comments. Blake Kersey saying Miami under. Yeah, I have no real opinion on that total. I might actually lean over, but I'm not. Robert Reed does like Baltimore at home. Gossman is up and down, but days off he does well. Yes, I agree with you, Robert Reed. I bet Baltimore -1 at a pretty big underdog line there. I might actually, before this video is over, give that one as a pick. I did bet it. So Lou Skunt says, I took a shot with Minnesota tonight. Yeah, you might be right there, Lou Skunt. If I had a free bet on that game, I'd probably take a shot with the under at 9, but no way I'm taking Houston. There's a pretty big sample size that shows that they are at least appropriately valued at home, if not overvalued. Okay, let's see. Looking for some other
for the fruit.
Other comments. Let's see. Looking for comments here. Blake Kersey likes the unders in the Mets game. I can see that. Let's see. All right. Okay. I guess I don't really see any other yeah. Basically, all the comments today are saying that there's no clear plays with value today, which was my initial thought when I saw this card and my initial comment in the beginning of this show. Okay. A lot of weird lines. Yes, Tyler Dolan says, "Did you give a low-hanging fruit today?" A lot of weird lines. Yes, absolutely. That's the comment. That's the overall meta comment of the day. A lot of tough situations today. All right, where is Wang Zhou? Awesome. Wang Zhou maybe got. Listen, nothing lasts forever, but the earth and sky. And Wang Zhou does not count as either one of those. So Wang Zhou does not last forever. We may have seen the last of Wang Zhou. Although I suspect not. It is possible that Austin Guy says, did his government capture him? It is possible.
He usually comes in a little bit late.
Yeah, yes,
so, it's a different time zone there.
D says weird lines means great money at times. Yes, at times. Yes, it's certainly. D says y'all just so used to the obvious play. LOL. Sure. I did bet a bunch of bets on the overnight small, and I would give some of them if they hadn't all moved. But yeah, let's see. Jason Grassi says, all right. Scotty says, think my team, the Phils, make a power move. Pete, you liking the Marlins come out swinging? In general, yes, I did bet him. I got him at 114. Now it's down to a plus 102. I'm not going to give him a plus 102. It's a very, very close call there. Yeah, I mean, Miami obviously has some nice bats in their lineup. I would look for them to be profitable in the upcoming 2 weeks, let's say. But I'm not going to give him as a pick at the current line, although I did bet that one. All right, maybe we can now. What I'll do is I will look over maybe I'll look over some of my other borderline plays and see if I want to add any. I mean, I could just ride the whole thing with Milwaukee -1.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I'll tell you.
Right. Between the picks you said you gave out that you took last night.
Yeah.
To the Yankees, the Padres.
Yeah, I took the Braves. Yes, the Braves, the Padres, the Yankees. I also bet Baltimore -1. The Yankees, Atlanta, and Oakland. And all of those were at underdog lines. The plays that I would be leaning towards now, that I will give out as official leans, Colorado and the Mets first 5 innings under. That line is still 4, although Pinnacle appears to be hanging 4.5 at a big underdog line, but at a big favorite, big juice line. Under 4 -115 in Colorado Mets first 5 innings would definitely be a borderline play. Baltimore -1. At a big underdog line would definitely still be a borderline play, although that line has moved in the opposite direction. KC and Texas second half under 3.5 -110 would also be a very strong lean / borderline play. San Francisco, San Diego over 7.5 -120. That's a heritage line. Everywhere else, I'm seeing 8. But yeah, so San Francisco, San Diego, either over 8 at plus money or 7.5 -120 at heritage would be a borderline play as well. And that would be about. And I guess Atlanta team total over 4.5 at plus 101 at Pinnacle would also be a borderline play and definitely a very strong lean along with all the others. So yeah, that's about it. I got 1 pick and a whole bunch of leans. Should I just ride the streak with Milwaukee -1, or should I throw in like Nets first 5 under, KC, Texas, second half under? Let's see, what else? What are the other ones? You know what? I'll just ride it, Milwaukee.
I like
That's
that.
it. Milwaukee -1 is the only official play. Yeah, I'll ease back into it. Milwaukee -1 is the only official play that I will give today. Although I did give a whole bunch of official leans, and I do track my official leans, and I'm going to write all those down. But I will hold off on all of those official leans as far as official picks. And I'll just give one pick here: Milwaukee -1. I am liking that solidly, and it does seem to be backed up by several commenters, and particularly DJ1 Mike, who says he would lay 2.5 LOL with Milwaukee, and that certainly could happen. The only issue really is just Pivetta. If Pivetta comes in and has good control and has some secondary pitches working a little bit better than expected, which could easily happen. I mean, these guys go to the bullpen for a little bit, especially over the All-Star break.
Yeah, you're right.
A guy like Pivetta goes to the All-Star break, tweaks his secondary pitches a little bit, comes in, and he was already very, very close to being excellent beforehand anyway. Very capable of giving a 7-inning, 9 strikeout start. Okay, so that's about it. Robert Martin says, Brewers okay, Pete. I am with you. All right, listen, if they lose, this is just one of the picks, one of the bets that I made today. But Michael Robertson says, what the fuck on Rangers Royals second half under? Good luck, Rangers fan. Always threat to get blasted. Yes, absolutely. But it is, they are a little bit more rested here. Bullpens are notoriously unpredictable, especially in the second half of the season. So yes, you're right. And if you recall, in the second part of the first half, the last few weeks, Matty Ice, I was mentioning all the time about how the Rangers pen, especially Bush, is always a threat to get blasted, and I picked against them in a bunch of second half. So good point, Michael Robertson. But
which brings them to a great spot to bet against.
Yes, exactly. I definitely am going to bet the second half under on that one, 3.5 -110. Watch it cash, Michael Robertson. Watch it cash. All right. Yes, Robinson Jeppa says big game tonight. Lynx against the Mercury. I did take a quick look at the WNBA game tonight, and I didn't make any bets on them. And there's nothing that jumps out at me as far as anything that I'd like to be betting. If anything does jump out at me, I'll try to tweet it. But as of right now, again, I have a pretty good read on WNBA this year. My overall record in WNBA so far is excellent, and there's nothing that I saw in the 3 games tonight that I'm liking as of right now. Hako Schofield saying, did you call the Milwaukee hotline? No, but that is also something I'll be doing later on today. You have reached the Miller Park hotline. The roof is expected to be open for tonight's game. All right. And let's see.
We got to get sponsored by them.
D says, teams are known for struggling at the plate in the first series after the All-Star break at Tomori. Yes, things are.
What was that? Sorry, teams struggle at home?
Teams struggle at the plate in the first series after the All-Star break, although I've also seen the opposite, where weak-hitting teams are unexpectedly strong after the All-Star break. It's kind of a very quirky time.
Yes, I think that's the only thing. Things will be a little fluky.
Yeah.
It's like the start of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Robinson Jeppa says leaning towards Phoenix plus 7.5. All right, I will definitely look into that one for sure. Fred Drums saying liking White Sox money line. Yeah, interesting call there, Fred Drums. I mean, Paxton is definitely looking like showing some signs that he might be about to embark on a run of elite starts after coming back from the disabled list. He was much more mediocre, but his last bunch of starts were a lot more promising. But that's just too high of a line. There's no way I would even consider giving Seattle at minus 180, even though Shields is very vulnerable. I just can't do it. So you might be right. Michael Robertson says, blind tail PWA under 168 sparks last night in cash. Thanks, Pete. You're welcome, Michael Robertson. And that game also started off very high scoring, which is not a huge surprise. And I loved the second half under. So yeah, the second half under was a play that I really loved as well, a lot more than the full game under. I'm glad that they both wound up cashing though. Great. You're very welcome, Michael Robertson. Okay, I guess that's about Robert Martin saying 1K. Go Brewers. Really? Wow, Robert Martin betting $1,000 on the Brewers. I think that's what he's saying.
Go Crew.
Okay. All right.
You got a quick little clip for UFC this weekend. I know you're filming with Andres later, but
yeah. Oh no, I haven't. I haven't
looked
into that yet. I have not looked into that yet. But yeah, I've looked into everything else, and I am making some serious progress on my college football research. My Pac-12 video is already up. Early next week, I will have a Big 12 video, and then hopefully later next week I'll have an SEC video. And I'm feeling like my overall leans in general on college football will be something to at least take note of, if not blindly tail. All right, I guess that's about it. Nothing wrong with having a little bit of a short show. I'd love to try to keep these shows half an hour going forward, but not skimping on jokes or information or picks or anything like that. But all right,
we had to ease back in today.
What?
We're easing back in today. It's been a weird week. I was sick.
Yes. So. Yes, for sure. All right. So thanks everyone for your insightful comments. As always, thanks to DJ One Mike for reminding me how I feel about the Milwaukee run line bet that I did make on the overnight. I've given a bunch of leans, and we broke down most of the important games tonight. And we'll see how the Angels adjust with Trout coming back. They might wind up being a sneaky, excellent value play, at least in the early going. We'll see how their lines adjust. And my only play for tonight, hopefully I'll continue my winning day streak, is Milwaukee -1 at a small home favorite line. We'll be back on Monday for the Monday card. We'll see what the weekend brings in MLB.